Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. And today I'm going to be doing a versus video between the Harden Volume 5 and the Next Level Futurenatural. So there is a pretty big price difference between these two shoes. So the Harden Volume 5 is going for 130 bucks. The Next Level is going for 180 bucks, even though they're kind of using the same tooling. So I don't understand the price difference. Like 180 bucks for a shoe that has no signature athlete and the same tech as a Harden Volume 5, which is 50 bucks cheaper, and it has, you know, James Harden. You know, it's like James Harden's shoe, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, I don't really understand the pricing, but whatever. If you guys want to cop either of these shoes, I'll leave a link in the description box, but let's get it started off with the Tracciones, and the Next Level is way better, right? So the Harden Volume 5 was good on lateral movements, so I had really no issues with that, but going forward, it would slip out a good amount, and that was just like it just never had a good bite, you know what I'm saying? And it reminded me a lot of like the Jordan 31. So that sucked, but the Next Levels, I never really had that problem. And also something that both of these shoes have as far as like the problem goes is that they're very flat, right? So if you look at, you know, for example, like Kyrie's with the outsole curvature, or even like the KD 13 with a little bit of outsole curvature, or even like the New Balance 2A with a little bit of outsole curvature, they give you better grip when you're doing these types of movements, right? So if you're a guard and you're very shifty and you do a lot of crossovers and stuff like that, you're going on your like the ball of your foot a lot. But both of these shoes are very flat, right? So when you're doing these types of movements, only a little bit of the outsole is touching the ground and you don't really get good grip, so you will slip out. And if you're used to kind of like that outsole curvature in like the other shoes that I just mentioned, you're gonna be slipping out a little bit in both of these shoes. But other than that, I mean, the Next Level, it was very consistent. Didn't have like the best bite, but it was good. And as far as the durability goes, I would say they're around the same for durability. And it's kind of weird, I don't understand. Maybe the outsole pattern is pretty much the same, so obviously the rubber compound is probably a little bit different in both of the shoes, but the Next Level is just better in my opinion. Alright, moving on to the heel to toe transition. The Next Level is a little bit better. So for the heel in both of the shoes, they're both super clunky. I don't know why Adidas did this, but it's just super damn clunky here in the heel. That doesn't feel very nice. I mean, they do have like nice curved shapes though, so that helps it a little bit, but like when you kind of like hit the heel to the floor, it definitely feels clunky. And then they're also very flat. There's not a whole lot of curve here in the forefoot, but the Next Level is just so much more flexible here in the forefoot. Look at that, as compared to the Harden Volume 5, which is like I don't know I don't know why they made it so damn stiff. I mean, when you break it in, it gets a little bit softer, but still it's definitely not as smooth as the Next Level. So because of that, the Next Level feels better when you're running down the court. Moving on to the cushioning setup, they're both using pretty much the same exact setup. So you have that boost drop in with the light strike carrier, and for some reason the Next Level feels a little bit better. I don't know what it is. Maybe they made the boost a tiny bit thicker here in the Next Levels, maybe just a tiny bit. It's still like not crazy, you know, there's not a crazy amount of compression or bounce from the Next Level cushion, but it just feels softer and it feels a little bit thicker and more comfortable as far as underfoot cushioning goes than the Harden Volume 5. So I like that. But like I said, both of the shoes still feel clunky. There's really no compression in the midsole and there's really no exposed midsole, as you guys know. But they're both low to the ground and I guess responsive cushioning setups. Impact protection is pretty good for how low to the ground you are, but it's not the best. So yeah, I mean, they're both not my favorite cushioning setups, but I would say the Next Level is a little bit better. All right, moving on to the materials. Yes, the Next Level is 100% better, way better than the Harden Volume 5. They screwed up with the Harden Volume 5. Like, you guys, it looks thin when you look at it, but then like, it's not. No, okay, so it is thin, but it's super stiff. It feels very glued down, especially where the fused material is. And I don't know what they did. I don't know why you would ever do this, but it's just a very stiff, very uncomfortable material. When you break it in, it gets a little bit better, but it's nowhere near as soft and comfortable as the Next Levels, right? As far as the thickness goes, I would say they're around the same thickness, but the Next Level just doesn't feel like super stiff or glued down at all, comparing it to the Harden Volume 5. And you have this really nice knit material here in the ankle area. So yeah, the Next Level material quality is way better. It feels way more comfortable and way better on foot, and it's just as thin, right? So Next Level, they did it way better than the Harden Volume 5. And also, I guess for the Achilles Pillows, they're pretty much the same. You know, we got 4 Achilles Pillows in total, 2 on each side of the shoe. And they both do pretty much the same thing. I would actually say the Harden Volume 5 Achilles Pillows are a little bit softer. The next level foam is actually quite a bit harder. So it feels kind of uncomfortable when you first put it on. And then it kind of like molds to the shape of your like foot or your ankle area a little bit slower. But once it does, it gets way more comfortable, right? Moving on to the fit. The fit is pretty similar, you know, so they both run very, very long. And so I would suggest going down half a size from your Adidas size. But other than that, they're both very, very snug here in the toe box. I would say the next level is like a little bit more snug than the Harden Volume 5. Width-wise, I would say they're around like normal width to maybe a touch wide, but pretty similar fits. It's just like they're both very, very snug here in the toe box. One thing that I absolutely hate about the next levels is that it's super freaking hard to put on and also take off, especially at first. Even after playing in the shoe and breaking it in, it's still not the easiest shoe to slip on. I don't know what it is, so that's really annoying. The Harden Volume 5, it uses a traditional lacing system, so it's actually very easy to put on. So that's something I like about the Harden Volume 5 a lot more than the next levels. But that's pretty much it, as you guys can tell already, right? So alright, moving on to the support and lockdown. Support and lockdown, they're both good. For lateral containment, I had no issues in either of the shoes. I mean, we got some lateral counters, as you guys can see, with this plastic thing that's going on here on the lateral side of the shoe in both of the shoes. So lateral containment was good. As far as the lateral stability goes, they're both good as well. You know, they're both very, very low wide bases, as you guys can see. So I had no issues with lateral instability. And for ankle support, they're both pretty much low top shoes. So you don't really get any type of ankle movement restriction. So support and lockdown, pretty much tied up. But one thing though is that the Harden Volume 5 has a lot of heel slippage, right? And that's because of how stiff this outsole is, you know, as you guys can see. So when you're moving your foot and you're kind of bending this, the shoe doesn't bend. So I mean, obviously your foot's gonna bend, and it just kind of wants to like come out of the shoe. You know what I'm saying? Like your heel. But then like even with these crazy Achilles pillows, they don't really do much because of how stiff the Harden Volume 5 is. So because of that, there is heel slippage. For the next levels though, like I mentioned, it's a lot more flexible. So I had no heel slippage at all with the next level. So that's actually a lot better here in the next levels. All right, moving on to the weight of the shoe. They're both freaking heavy. 15.73 ounces for the next levels. And this was like what, 16 ounces? Yeah, 16 ounces. So incredibly heavy. Adidas, what the hell are you guys doing? Why would you make a shoe so damn heavy? And they're both really, really bottom heavy because the materials are pretty minimal. You know what I'm saying? So they're both like pretty clunky and very heavy feeling, but the next level just feels better because it feels a little bit more fluid and a little bit more like flexible, because it is actually more flexible here in the forefoot, and the materials are a lot softer and a lot more comfortable on foot as well. So because of that, you feel way quicker and way more responsive in the next levels than the Harden Volume 5. All right, moving on to the ventilation. The next level is actually a little bit hotter. The Harden Volume 5 isn't bad for ventilation, but the next level is quite hot. So I guess that's one thing the Harden Volume 5 does better too. Also, the aesthetics, you know, the next levels, I don't really like the aesthetics of the next levels all too much. The Harden Volume 5 looks awesome. The design of the shoe looks awesome. But the tech and how they incorporated the tech in the Harden Volume 5 is incorrect in my opinion, and they just did a little too much. So there's that. Tell us what you guys think looks better down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, if you guys can already tell, the next level is way better than the Harden Volume 5. It pretty much won in all of the categories, and I don't know why the Hardens couldn't do what the next levels did. You know, like, why would you make the material so damn stiff? You know, make it softer. You know, so it doesn't hurt your foot and it doesn't feel as stiff. And also, why is the Harden Volume 5 so damn rigid? You know what I'm saying? Why can't you make it like the next levels? If it just fixed those two things, I feel like the Harden Volume 5 would pretty much be on par with the next levels, but also be $50 cheaper. You know what I'm saying? I guess fix the traction a little bit. But other than that, those were the issues for the Harden Volume 5, and the next level is the better performer, but also, like I mentioned, $50 more expensive. So if that's worth it to you guys, then definitely go ahead and get the next levels. I do not recommend getting the Harden Volume 5, so I'll pretty much stay away from this shoe, but $180 is pretty expensive. So again, if you guys do want to cop either of these shoes, I'll leave a link in the description box. But hope this helped you guys out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.